Hello friends, welcome back to Innovations in Marketing and Marketing of Innovations. And we have been building a case, a perspective around innovations in marketing. Up till now we have gone through the aspects of value chain, innovations throughout value chain marketing. We have gone through several kinds of concepts and elements through which we are trying to learn how to innovate within the marketing sphere. And another interesting part would definitely come when we would learn how to market the innovations as such. So, just preceding to this one, we talked about product related innovations, and then we focused upon the elements of innovations within products, and then we traversed towards pricing, and we focused upon concentricity of pricing while ending that segment. Now, we would be traversing through the distribution based elements as far as innovation sphere goes. It is very interesting because until and unless you distribute, you will not reach to the customer, and that is why the most important aspect and the key word which we should be remembering here is reach. This is the most important element when we talk about as far as innovation sphere goes. And you see, wondering about this concept and this perspective of reach, we will try to build up the case henceforth, and I will be using this key word to demonstrate how important innovation within distribution is should be, and what role does it plays. We would be talking about innovation or foreseen innovations in distribution channels, innovations and channel management, then innovation and innovations in association with retail and retail management, and then in the last segment we would be talking about how concentricity of distribution is associated with other elements which we have discussed up till now, and we would be going towards integrated marketing communication later on, which would slightly complete the picture which we are trying to develop here. And it is always good that if you take notes, then you would realize that the sheets which you are developing would be in the form of picture which we are visualizing here. So, this keyword should be focused upon. Now, if reach is the keyword, then there are two aspects associated with reach. One is desire associated with reach, desire of the customer as well as the marketer, C plus M. How far customer thinks of different kinds of products, different kinds of services, after sales services to reach to the customer, and how desirous is the marketer for taking those products and services to the customer. Then comes in the requirement for the same. These are associated, but definitely they have a difference as well. Desire develops the methods through which we would be thinking about that. We would be focusing upon the importance of distribution. Requirement is that we have that kind of a capability and capacity in the products which should reach to the customers, and customers definitely require for those products to reach to the customers. And I would be talking about things in association with requirement when I would be emphasizing upon channel management. For example, COVID-19 let us think about such kind of situations at a very large level, and we realized how important distribution is during COVID-19. And to as I have been continuously referring to my subject product and brand management, which is already on NPTEL, National Portal for Technology Enabled Learning. So, there I have talked about distribution at large. If you want to refer to those slides or recordings, definitely it would be helpful, and a lot of text has already been referred to as far as distribution goes in that segment. Now, when we are talking of reach, then definitely there is an association of value chain which we are dwelling upon. So, just keep this in mind, and I will be coming to this point now and then. And one more point which we have been building upon up till now, and we are dwelling upon these points continuously, that is micro segments or targets. So, that is again a very important thing which we should keep in mind now, because distribution enables the strength of a marketer to reach to the individualistic targets or micro segments. Now, here come in that if we are talking of innovations within distribution, then how should we be thinking? You see, there are two elements which we should be talking upon. One is, should we be altering the whole of the chain, the channel, the associated channels, or should we be eliminating some of those? So, that is the perspective we should be dwelling upon as far as the whole scenario goes. So, reach, desire, requirements in association with value chain, in association with micro segments and targets, and the element of altering the channels or eliminating some of those, that comes within the sphere of when we are thinking in terms of how to innovate within distribution channel system. Now, you see, when we talk about altering, we talk about recombining those or eliminating those also, integrating those also, and elimination definitely is removing one or two of those. That many a times also means integration, in a sense that we have sort of merged the channels, two of the channels into one, but that is not purely eliminating the channel. Purely eliminating the channel means that we have actually eliminated the need for one of those channels. For example, if we have managed our inventory management system very well, then we might not require to stock our products at large somewhere. So, we eliminate the complete need of that stocking system which we would have generated up till now. I would be focusing upon that, just keep this in mind. Now, then there are other one or two elements which are quite interesting. When we are talking of innovations in distribution channels and channel management as such, so then we have to keep B2B perspective and B2C perspective in mind. I would not be digressing too much in suggesting that distribution innovations in distribution systems and distribution channels actually enables many a times to for B2B, business to business marketing companies or organizations to also serve business to customer markets. That happens, but just for your thought process, that you may think this way as well, that if somehow we keep on innovating with lot of innovation in distribution channels, then B2C, B2B and B2C, the lines they gets blurred as far as the whole situation goes. This perspective comes into our mind many a times. Then there are few more things which we, and here before I go ahead, you see, when we are talking of B2B products, then innovation in distribution systems or distribution channels requires a different kind of a thought process, because you are not you are not supposed to reach to the end customer, but then end customer is dependent upon your innovation or innovation which you would be utilizing for reaching to your customer, and they would be using that innovative perspective or innovative thought process as to their advantage for reaching to their end consumers. That is a very important thing which one should keep in mind. Many suppliers, tier 1 suppliers, tier 2 suppliers, tier 3 suppliers, and these people, if they understand that what kind of innovation perspective they can utilize to support the customers of their customers, that is an important thing. And then B2C, definitely we understand that people do require varied products at varied points of time and so on, and those kind of important things are there. So, we have to focus on the larger categories of the markets as such as well. Then the other point which we should keep in mind is product categories or types of industries which we belong to. type of industries. And here, it makes quite a difference when we talk about these kind of things. For example, should we be categorizing things in terms of perishability, for example? Then they also think in terms of the material, the matter which is associated with the products which we are trying to supply. And now if we try to, and then several other factors which may come up in due course of time, but then we largely think about product categories also. For example, if we belong to electronics industry, largely we belong to computer industry, which is part of electronics industry, but has been considered at large with a different kind of a perspective. Then we are, if we may talk of larger goods, heavy goods, we talk of automotives, for example, and several other examples like apparels, like food products, like books, bicycles, and then several other kinds of consumer products. Several kinds of consumer products, and I do not have to elaborate that in front of you. You are very well aware of those kind of products. Just go to a departmental store and you would immediately realize what I am talking about. So, these are the elements which we have to dwell upon. When we are talking of reach, let us look into B2B and B2C, and let us look into product categories, perishability and material associated with the products which we are trying to produce and supply, electronics. And you see, talking of electronics, for example, just to give you an example, and this is I am trying to build up a case here. For example, if we are, and recently you would have heard, and I would have mentioned that in some of my earlier sessions, for example, mobile phone supply recently went scant for a while because somehow some supplies were scarce. Even in case of automotive industry, we realized and we were told that because of the short supply of semiconductors, cars could not be supplied at large to the consumers even after long time bookings. I do not know what is the present situation. They say that they have overcome this kind of a situation as of now. Now, if you keep on going backwards, you would realize that semiconductors, production of semiconductors is dependent upon some raw material. That raw material is associated with human resource which is associated with that, and then I would be coming to all this kind of a picture in my last segment when I would be associating everything within the marketing sphere as well as other functions of business as well. But just to give you a glimpse, you see, if we look into the complete value chain and you look at that, somewhere those raw materials are being extracted and then processed, and then you require that kind of a production facility and human resource. Even if it is not that scarce, then it comes to a situation wherein somehow that process gets hampered, and if that process gets hampered, you cannot overnight change the production processes in the end product, like let us say automotives. So, you have to stall the production many a times, you see, and we are talking of distribution of those products for the manufacturers, and their customers are waiting. Somehow many a times these kind of manufacturers, they suffer, competition creeps in because somehow competition is focusing upon that kind of a thing with a different kind of an aggressiveness or immediate technology adaptation or change, or they would have an inventory of those kind of products with them and they are continuing with the supplies of the products, or you had a smaller market to cater to as far as the production capacity goes, and some of the manufacturers, they get eliminated from the picture. This is what is the importance of innovation within the distribution channel system. You would ask that if some supply is fundamentally scarce, then what one can do? That is the point actually. That is where innovation comes to our support, wherein we foresee the complete process in due course of time. Now, let us start from the fundamentals. American Marketing Association talks about distribution, and it says that distribution refers to the act of marketing and carrying products to customers. It is also used to describe the extent of market coverage for a given product. Extent of market coverage, reach. And then another definition which American Marketing Association talks about is a distribution or marketing channel is the path travelled path travelled by a product from the manufacturer through any middlemen to the end user. A channel includes all the activities involved in transferring the ownership of goods from the point of production to the point of consumption. Whole chain, you may call it supply chain, distribution chain and so on. Keep remembering these elements which this fundamental definition talks about, and keep the elements which we have tried to build upon as of now for our support, especially in terms of reach, the kinds of markets and the other aspects which I just mentioned. Just to reiterate few fundamentals once again, intermediaries, because the definitions also talk about those, such as wholesalers and retailers who buy, take title to and resell the merchandise are called merchants. What kind of merchants should be associated with us? What kind of innovation can be introduced within the spheres of the merchants? How well we can include them in the innovation process as far as the complete system goes. Then another element is those like brokers, manufacturers, representatives, sales agents who search for customers and may negotiate on the producer's behalf, but do not take the title to the goods are called agents. What can be done about them? And these are all channel partners. Others including the transportation companies, independent warehouses, banks, advertising agencies who assist in distribution process, but neither take title to the goods or negotiate purchases or sales are called facilitators. Now, do you get the point that this is how we can think in terms of innovating within the distribution channel systems, wherein we can focus upon merchants, we can focus upon agents and we can focus upon facilitators, or we can focus upon one and then focus upon the others with a concentric perspective. And I have been continuously using this word called concentricity because it is very important for us to initiate the innovation from a point to get it directed towards some different kind of a point. Now, let us look at an interesting example. Costco, the membership warehouse club, is one of the best examples of innovations in distribution channels which we try to find, and there are several other examples which you may try to associate with this kind of a discussion, and I keep on motivating you to keep looking for such examples to fit into the picture which we are trying to develop here. So, Costco started in 1976 under the name Price Club, originally serviced the small businesses, but soon they found they can achieve greater success if they target selected audiences of non-business members. Very important transition from one kind of a market towards a different kind of a market, that is where we are trying to build up here. The company became the world's first membership warehouse club that offered its members unmatched savings. This saw the shift from business members towards the end customers, and this we have taken from Costco's website. Costco warehouses carry only about 4,000 stock keeping units compared to other supermarkets that carry more than 30,000 SKUs. Now, you see, if you reduce SKUs and you are trying to enhance the reach, this actually means a lot when we are talking about being innovative. Thus, by carefully choosing products based on quality, price, brand and features, and I would be talking about brand in association with distribution as well. So, quality, price, brand and features, the company can offer the best value to the members. Apart from the sales generated, Costco does get a small percentage of its revenue from the membership fee it collects. That is the kind of distribution model which Costco initiated and saw. Look at these numbers and we will get to analyze what I am talking of, and this case justifies the Costco's presence as one of the top 10 retailer based on estimated global retail sales in 2020, the world's largest retailers. Costco is at number 3 with $156.6 billion of sales. This is what we have fetched from Statista, and the source is Richer F. June 16, 2020, the world's largest retailers. Then number of Costco card holders worldwide from 2014 2022 in millions, and it is 118.9 million. Then let us talk of Shopify. It is a Canadian multinational e-commerce company that allows merchants and sellers to create an online store and sell their products for monthly subscription fees. Very interesting concept. And you see, I would be talking about channel management, wherein I would be talking about digitalization at a very large level, the role it is playing at a very large level, and this is a sort of an associated example here. The platform becomes a facilitator between the producers or manufacturers and the consumers by providing software as a service. Many a times distribution channel innovation lead us towards being innovative through software technology, and that definitely has changed the world quite a bit as far as the whole scenario goes, but the fundamental element is enhancing the reach. They also provide fully integrated payment processing service called Shopify Payments, which allows entrepreneurs to accept and process credit cards online and offline. The company also earns revenue through transaction fees on sales made through its platforms. Apart from that, they provide additional services like add-ons, customer solutions, hardware like point of sales, systems, barcode scanners, and so on. The most important element which we must look at here is that if somehow we can enhance the strength of our distribution channel partners. Elimination does not mean that we are reducing the strength of the channel partners. Elimination means that we are reducing the redundancies associated with the whole distribution channel system. Rearranging definitely is associated with enhancing the strength. Many a times, if a company feels that taking the system in their own hands would be more beneficial and fruitful, that also is a form of innovation in terms of integration that they do within their processes and take few of the distribution systems in their own hands. Many a times warehousing is done by your partners, many a times warehousing is done by yourself, so as to enhance the strength of the distribution channel systems, and IKEA is a wonderful example, and several others are brilliant examples as far as the whole situation goes. So, taking channels in your own hands is also an important element. The question here is how channels can be directed directly or slightly indirectly towards customers with more efficiency. But you would say that efficiency is a general thought process which definitely everyone is thinking about. Here my submission is that efficiency and reach would always remain the question, but the point is that the innovation within distribution with a concentric perspective by strengthening the complete value chain and reaching to the micro segments as far as we can is the point of concern here. Because the other day we were talking of market expansion, the other day we were talking of pricing as an element, and the other day we talked about that if somehow the scope of product innovation has got reduced in the process. The data about number of online stores running on Shopify worldwide as of June 2023 by product category, this is how the situation is. Apparel, it is a very large good situation, and somehow other product categories also there, we have just talked about that. Market share of online payment processing technologies worldwide as of July 2023, and this is a complete larger picture in front of you, wherein Shopify Pay installments is 13.8%, which is quite huge other than PayPal and Stripe. And then Shopify's total revenues worldwide from 2015 to 2022, exceptionally huge. Then comes in the element of push and pull as well. You see, push involves the manufacturer using its sales force and trade promotion money to induce intermediaries to carry, promote and sell the product to the end users. And here we are talking of strengthening distribution through sales force, which is a very important and a very big element, because if you see, we always talk about direct marketing organizations as case studies. Sometimes if you will look at their innovation perspective, they and you see that clubs almost everything which I am talking about, taking everything in their own hands, enhancing the reach to the customer by reducing the need of redundant intermediaries, and by involving customers as distribution systems for themselves as well. So, those direct marketing organizations which are large in number now, and there are some organizations which have utilized this kind of a model for some of their products. For example, Hindustan Lever, when they enhanced their reach in the rural markets of India, it became a much talked about study in whole of the world, and that was a wonderful model which fetched Hindustan Lever almost a revenue of around 40-45%, 50%. I do not have the exact statistics as of now, that can be verified from different sources. Patanjali came in and it actually created a very different kind of a reach based innovative model for almost everyone, blurring the lines between their distributors, them being customers, and their customers being involved as somehow being their channel partners, and the B2B and B2C lines also were blurred, and somehow larger picture came into being. And though it looks very complex, but they simplified everything by involving almost everyone with the perspective of being benefited somehow. Appropriate where there is low brand loyalty in the category, brand choice is made in store, the product is an impulse item and product benefits are well understood. You see, Push definitely has a brand element to as well. It is a known brand, and that is why I said I would be talking about branding briefly, and then I would be taking you towards the strength of branding when we would be talking about integrated marketing communication, and coming backwards towards the elements of marketing in due course of time. Then comes in pull. It involves the manufacturer using advertising and promotion to induce consumers to ask intermediaries for the product, thus inducing the intermediaries to order it, strengthening the intermediaries also and motivating them to be associated with the products. Appropriate when there is high brand loyalty and high involvement in the category, when people perceive differences between brands and when people choose the brand before they go to the store. Marketing channels can be either short or long. A short channel will have few intermediaries and a long channel will have many intermediaries working to move the products from the company to the customers. The commonly used channel levels are 0 level, 1 level, 2 levels and 3 levels. The marketing channels can also be divided into consumer markets and industrial markets. The larger submission in this introductory segment of distribution channels and innovations within distribution channels is that we should be focusing upon the benefit maximization throughout the value chain, throughout the distribution channel system especially, and then taking that benefit towards all the stakeholders, and then expanding the market so that we are everywhere. That is the requirement for innovation in distribution channels. I would be dwelling upon as far as all the levels of distribution channels with a perspective around how to innovate within them, and then I would be taking you towards channel management system as well with an innovative perspective in my next section. But till then, try and keep on visualizing on that what sorts of innovation, as I gave you 2 examples of Costco and Shopify, try and visualize what else can be done and what people are trying to do. Try and observe that. Try and observe that through one point, one and only one point. That is, what are those products or which are those products which you were not getting a few years back and you have started getting those around you somewhere somehow. Try and think about this, make a list, and I will be catching up with you in my next section and talking about innovations in channel management. Till then, goodbye.